welcome to episode 10 of the Jez and Friends podcast. Today's special guest of a podcast is Aymane. Welcome.
It's good, everybody. Hey, Jez.
We're going to be covering many topics, including Murad Gundich, the after school program, sports, motivation, and funny stories. Now let's get started. Aymane, what are your thoughts on the current lockdown situation right now? Obviously, we're in stage 4.
Yeah, stage 4 is when you're inside. You've always got to motivate yourself to, come up with something new to do. Keep working, keep grinding.
Facts. Useful tool that could benefit the listeners that you use, mate.
Just get something that keeps you focused. Like for me, I like to listen to music, kind of calms me down. If there's continuous pressures to do work, I always just put on some tunes and kind of calm down. Just something that keeps me focused,
Fair enough. I'd say that's some pretty good advice.
Yeah.
I knew you before this, but obviously got to know you a bit better at Murad Gundich. So talk to the viewers about that experience and what was it like.
Well, Neuro was actually amazing because it's such a different experience from, the normal society. You're kind of in a little community, you get to know new people, learn new things about yourself and others. And it's much better than stage 4. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Do you have a top 3 favorite memories at Murad, mate?
Definitely, the expo trips, just hanging out
Sure.
late night. That was definitely one of the highlights. The slip and slide with everybody in the last week, I'm pretty sure that was really good. And then the late night with the boys, bathrooms, just singing songs, going crazy. Yeah, some good times.
Mate, I remember having a sleepover in your room. I think, it was the first week or something. That was pretty funny. And I think it was 10 and we all talked for I don't know, let's say 10, 20 minutes. Then, mate, you fell asleep
Yeah.
straight away. And then everybody just started
Everyone's
dozing off. Yeah.
I know. I sleep so quick. It's crazy. Weren't you sleeping underneath one of the beds or something like that?
Yeah, well, I was under, I think, Seth's bed, yeah? Because we don't want to get
Yeah,
caught and shit. And then Declan was under the table in front of the thing?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, under there. Oh, mate.
That was funny, yes.
Mate, but the thing is, we both got out of your room 1 hour into it because we couldn't sleep.
Yeah, yeah, for
That's pretty
sure.
funny, yeah. Yeah, but we'll move on from those pretty fun times, mate. We spoke earlier
But
about what we're doing for subject selections. Basically, what do you want to do after school when it's all said and done?
yeah, so for a long time, I've never really known what I want to get into. I've got a lot of passions, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to start, focusing on getting a course in maybe graphic design and maybe architecture and fashion and all that.
Good on you, mate. So, are you looking at any courses right now that I don't know, that sort of you want to do?
I'm not too sure. I've taken a look at some of the universities, early on. It's good to kind of
Yeah,
get a
I
head start on
100%
what you're going to
agree.
get. Yeah. So I'm thinking Vic or RMIT. They look pretty good so far.
Fair enough. I've had a look at a few of their stuff, and it's pretty good. Except RMIT. Oh, wait, not RMIT. I got mixed up. But RMIT. There's one in the city. Yeah, I think the
Yeah, I
campus
think so.
there.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. I made a mistake. I thought you were talking about Latrobe. I think Latrobe's all the way in Bandura. It's you take the 86 all the way
Yeah.
down, which takes 2 hours. But
A while ago. Yeah, it's far away.
yeah, we went there for some archaeology shit back in year 7 or something. I think.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember there was a 2,000-year-old head that we got a picture of, if you remember that.
Mm.
Something like
Yeah.
that. It's
In
pretty
that.
creepy. We'll move on now. So I know this because yeah, you told me this, and I sort of know. But you played footy before me for Flemington Juniors, but you played 1 year. So talk us through that. How was that, mate?
It was a while ago. It was actually pretty fun because footy, I was never really into footy, but I just gave it a go because why not? Something out of school.
Fair enough.
Um, I was pretty decent, I guess, for, first year at footy.
True.
Um, pretty sure I was in the mid,
In the
I
mid.
didn't score a lot of goals, didn't do much. Yeah, midfield.
Yeah. Eamon, did you kick a goal that season?
It was I think so, a couple.
Oh, right, that's actually good, mate.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, but I was a pretty scrawny kid, so it was kind of fun, tapping around and going crazy. It was fun.
That's true. So, do you remember kicking your first goal or not really?
Yeah, I do actually remember. It was a big scuffle in the forward, and there was just a lot of us, and I just happened to pick up the ball and chuck it in the goal, kick it in, and it was pretty, first goal. Not really into footy, but somehow kicked the first goal.
And they got around you, obviously, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. It was a big, big, big celebration, first goal of the season for
Yeah,
sure.
I can't forget mine. Obviously, I think it happened. You started in 2014, yeah, and then you quit after that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
yeah,
started the year after, and I remember shout out to Hugo. I think he's over in America, isn't he?
yeah, yeah, for sure. He is,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he handballed it to me in the forward line, and I didn't kick one goal in that season until the very last round, and I snapped it around the body and kicked my first goal, and ever since I've kicked many goals. So shout out to Hugo for
Wow.
his handball. Yeah,
What position do you play in footy?
yeah. If you played a few more seasons, Eamon, you might have had a premiership medal, which I have in 2016. So that would have been pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. But I kind of dropped footy and started picking up basketball, and a bunch of other sports as well.
True. Talk us through basketball. You play club basketball, yeah, like every now and then. I think.
Yeah, it started, start of high school, me and some mates, playing basketball, and we kind of got into it. And then one of our older friends, Kobe, he introduced us to, him playing rep and playing competitive, and he used to play in America and all that. We kind of, as a friend group, really got into basketball. And then we started playing for Kensington as well, for the basketball team instead of the footy team.
Yeah.
And it's just fun, playing against each other, playing against other teams.
Yeah, mate. I want to join your basketball team. I might not get many minutes, but probably
Yeah,
smash
yeah,
a few threes and mate, I could turn the
yeah.
game around, mate. You know.
Yeah. Looking forward
Yes.
to that.
What team do you follow in the NBA?
I've been going for the Nets, but they're not really playing much this season
They're in the
because of,
playoffs though, but I think they're getting
yeah,
thrashed.
the Trailblazers have been going off this season.
Oh, mate. Game time,
Yeah,
mate. Far out. That guy's
like,
crazy. They might
yeah,
knock off Lakers. I don't know. They're playing pretty well.
yeah, they have been. They came up, they were losing, and then they came back, and then they got a big lead. Lakers came back, then Trailblazers came out on top. It was good to watch. It was a good game.
Yeah, bro. I go for Philadelphia. Boston are cooking us up right now. We're losing 2-0, which isn't good. So,
Yeah, yeah, that's tough. Joel Embiid. Yeah, he scored a bunch of points as a big.
yeah, true. Do you look up to any particular NBA players or base your game around them?
I try to base my game off Kevin Durant. He's a big, lanky
Yeah, Katie.
fella, mid-range pull-ups. Nice finishes at the rim. I want to try and get better. It's just about motivating myself and all that. Yeah.
That's true, mate. So have you grown since the lockdown? I know you're a pretty tall fella. How tall are you now, mate?
I am 6'1",
Six
and
one.
I checked last night. I grew like half a centimeter, not much, but I'm still growing, still growing.
True, true. I reckon you could end up 6'3", 6'4", mate. Probably.
Yeah, we'll try, we'll try.
So are you
It'll help in the long.
taller than Dylan, mate? Still, or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
At six, he's almost 6'1", I'm pretty sure, just under.
yeah. He claims he's 6'1".
Yeah,
uh, uh, yeah, we'll move on now. So it's social media minute. Everyone's created a hashtag, Eamon, as you may know. So just feel free to create a hashtag for a post.
If I would make a hashtag for Jez and Friends, I think I'd call it Jez's Corner.
Jez's Corner. Interesting.
So
The good thing about hashtags is everyone like has a different one, you know?
yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
interesting what you come up with. Oh, mate. My dad just walked in the room. So the quote of a podcast is push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. So what's your opinion on that, Eamon?
I think that's really good because especially as you get older in life, there's not going to be people telling you what to do and how to do it. You've got to really, put yourself out there and find out how to do things yourself and push yourself and motivate yourself to, get where you want to get. You've got to grind all the way.
Yeah, facts, bro, facts. What's it like being from your background? Obviously, tell us more about your culture, the food, all that good stuff, mate.
So I'm from a little island just off the east coast of Africa, Comoros Island, and it's not very known. There's not a lot of us in Australia, but it's kind of good to know that you're, a very rare, unique. You're from a very unique place around the world. Our culture it's very based around the island, so we get a lot of plantains and a lot of tropical foods and all that. A lot of dancing as well. I've been
Oh, mate.
brought up with my family, and just dancing ceremonies and all that. So it's pretty cool having a unique culture.
Yeah. Talk us through food. Any particular good food from there?
A snack that we like to do in Comoros, we like to fry green bananas,
Ooh.
and they're like a plantain, and they taste really good once you fry them up. Yeah, and mom has me in the kitchen all the time, peeling bananas and
Yeah.
getting me to cook you know.
Yeah, that's good, mate. You're a pretty good cook, I'd say, from there, Ad. You carried me in one of
Yeah,
those challenge. Yeah, I don't think I did much, but yeah, cheers for that. So, how many
all
people
good.
actually live there, mate? Like your island you come from?
I'm not too sure. I've been there because I was born in Australia, but I went there when I was 5. And it's a pretty small island. Like you could ride like an hour and a half and you'd end up on one side or maybe like 2 hours and you'd end up on the
Yeah.
other side of the beach. So there's not a lot of us, but it's slowly growing and then the community is always growing as well.
Would you say less than 1 million people living there?
I reckon so. I mean, I could look it up.
Yeah, may as well look it up, I reckon.
There is 832,000 people since 2018.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to my country. You probably know I come from East Timor. We have like 1 million people in our country, and it's similar what you said. Like, if you take a car and you go 2 hours one way, like you end up at the end of the like country
Yeah,
basically. Yeah,
sure.
pretty different to Australia, obviously. So yeah, it's good to talk about. Mate, what's the last movie you watched?
Ooh, I haven't watched a movie in ages, but I have been watching a lot of Netflix recently.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Um, the latest Netflix show that I watched, there was this movie about this deaf girl and there was a killer and she couldn't tell where the killer was, but she somehow made it out alive and she had to like kill the killer and it was a whole experience and it was good to watch. Yeah.
Definitely recommend. Would you say?
Yeah, I would recommend it, Netflix movies. There's not a lot out right now, but they're always coming out with new things.
Yeah. So is it like a horror kind of scenario,
Yeah,
or yeah?
thriller movie.
Yeah, the other day, or like a few, maybe last year, I watched. Have you heard of Friday the 13th?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Have you watched it?
Classic, classic. Yeah, yeah. I don't actually. I'm not too sure that I've watched it. I should
Yeah,
probably check it out.
I've played the game on PS4 and also like watched it. Mate, watching it is another story. It's like scary as shit.
Yeah,
Even playing it, like Jason, the main character, he's so big and he just comes out like the campmates and all
yeah.
that, and fuck, it's scary.
Do you watch a lot of horror movies or no?
Not really. Probably every now and then, mate. I'm not a fan of horror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I used to be terrified of horror movies, but I started recently watching a bunch of them. myself. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what's that thing called? The thing by Stephen King, you know, it. Yeah, it. Is that scary or?
Um, it's got a couple jump scares, but the storyline is better than the actual like horror itself. But it's a good ass movie. I recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, because both of them are on Netflix, so I might give it a watch. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll talk back more about camp here, but you obviously went to a different primary school to me. Probably went on a few camps, and also we went on all the same camps in high school. So, do you have any like fond memories or funny stories that you can recall?
Oh, I've got a shoddy memory, but I've got a probably the best memory of maybe the year 7 camp at the was it the summit? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
the summit. Yeah,
The mud run at the very end where everyone was running on that trail.
yeah.
That
What
was
about it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially when we had to like commando crawl under
Barbed
the
wire.
wire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Wasn't our clan group? You were in the same one as me. I think it was called Lit Mamba. Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
I think you named it Lit Mamba, mate.
Probably me and
Yeah.
my cheesy names, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember Mr. S, he dogged us here, but he said he promised us like fish and chips or some shit, but he never like gave us anything, remember?
When we came back, he made like a group, like a little group chat on the email. He was like, "Oh, let's go out for fish and chips during one of the
Oh,
lunchtime." That's tough. That's real
yeah,
tough.
that never happened.
Yeah,
Oh,
calling
but
out on that one.
yeah, can you recall the possum incident in year 7, the camp? Dylan talked about
Uh,
it near the cabins.
yeah, there was like a possum in one of the bins, and someone knocked the
Yeah,
bin over or something like that. Yeah, it was hectic night.
yeah, we are standing outside the door for like a good half an hour, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No one wanted to step outside.
Yeah, and we'll quickly talk about Nurad Gundic here. Obviously, Expo was one of my favorite highlights. I mentioned this with Maz a few weeks ago, but do you remember the one where Ben tried to run around the oval and he fell like 10 seconds in or something?
Yeah,
Uh,
we got up to a lot of crazy stuff during the expo nights, and one of the funniest times was when Ben he jumped over he tried to jump over the fence and landed on I think it was like a spoke or something and hurt started bleeding. It was
uh,
funny. Yeah.
man, I remember the night duty. We used to always abuse that old guy. What's his name, Mr. McIntosh or something?
Oh, I feel bad for him.
Oh, I
He
feel
had
bad
a
for that
he had to go and leave, and everyone thought it was because of us. That was funny as.
guy. And were you there when Paddy broke Seb's nose, or were you
Oh
like
yeah,
outside?
I was right in front of them.
Really?
It was scary because the snap of when Patty punched Seb's nose, it was so loud, like you can hear it in the other rooms as well.
Yeah, I was in my room and I fucking heard it.
Yeah, it was nuts. No one
Oh.
expected it to happen. Bro.
So did he just like body like Seb onto the table and it snapped or something like that, or what did he do?
They were play fighting and they were swinging, but they weren't hitting each other. And Seb got too close and they connected and it was just big smack right in the nose.
Damn, that's tough. And we'll move on from that bit. Like Nurag Gundic is another story. Do you remember going into zone 4, and the alpacas and shit?
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. So we jumped over the fence and then ran to zone 4. And then there were a bunch of sheeps and alpacas around the like the old university or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, we started chasing the sheep and riding alpacas. And yeah, it was so stupid, but it was crazy.
Did someone get on the alpaca? I can't remember, but
Yeah, I tried to get on it, and who was it? It was one of the twins, I'm pretty sure, actually rode it and
fucking
just,
hell.
yeah, and the alpaca didn't actually go anywhere. It kind of just sat down as soon as you hopped on top of it.
Damn, because I remember like Jacko nearly like tied a noose on top of it. Like when it was
Yeah,
like,
we were trying to
yeah.
lasso it. So dumb, but so fun.
people people who went to Nurad Gundit with us, they should have came to zone four. Some people like weren't daredevils, you know. You had to like break a few
Yeah, yeah,
rules, but yeah, you had to.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure, mate. We'll move on from Murad again. What do you do in your spare time, mate?
Especially in stage four, there's not much to do, so I end up, playing a lot of video games, playing a lot of 2K, Apex,
Yeah,
I do a little here and there. Um, yeah, but there's not much to do other than that, listen to music in my spare time.
yeah, and is that a drum kit behind you?
Yeah, I've got yeah, because I'm in VC music and there's no other way to practice, so I'm borrowing the drum kit from school. Um, yeah, it's good to practice on. It's good fun as well in your spare
Yeah,
time.
mate, it looks pretty fun. I can't lie. I mean, it's in your background, obviously, so yeah, you must,
Yeah,
yeah, play it a lot, I'd say.
yeah, for sure.
Mate, what's your number one goal at the moment?
Number one goal is just to, stay motivated because stage four right now with Corona and everything, you tend to go a bit crazy because, it's just the same thing over and over again. There's not much to do. But,
Yeah, true.
you've got to find a way to stay motivated. Yeah, keep learning.
Yeah, and didn't you have your birthday in lockdown as well? Yeah, a few last month, I think.
I'm saying that, tomorrow's my birthday and it's gonna be, pretty boring to say the least,
Yeah,
not doing much during lockdown. But, you gotta make do with you have, families here, so do what you can. Bake a cake or something. I don't know.
yeah. I thought your birthday was in July, but that's Dylan actually. So yeah, mate. Tomorrow's your birthday. Probably shout you out, mate. Early happy
Yeah,
birthday, mate.
August, August,
Yeah. So
August, yeah.
16. Obviously, if it wasn't lockdown, would you have had like a, let's say, bigger party with your mates and all that, and like,
Yeah, probably. I would have probably just had like a get together, hang around, snacks, music, and all that with some friends, come back, spend some time with the family, make the most of the day,
it's true, mate. Mate, but I think my birthday is next month, but the lockdown ends on the 13th, I believe, stage four.
Mm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, you think I'm right, yeah? Or like somewhat right?
I'm not
If,
too sure because
yeah.
you never know. It might be extended, but I'm hoping it ends as soon as possible.
Yeah, so if this continues to drop and it does end on the 13th, my birthday's on the 14th, so which means we're back to stage three. I might, I don't know, have some fun. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
fingers crossed though, because even if it's in lockdown, it is what it is. So yeah.
tough. It's tough.
I mean, I've known you for like let's say 7, 8 years, because I've known you since we were like seven or something. Yeah, but I met
Yeah,
you
for
through
sure.
the after school program. So talk us through that. Some people wouldn't know about it.
So, the Flemington Community Center, we had like the huddle come in since 2013 maybe.
Yeah,
We've been
something like that.
after school activities and all that. You and me, we used to play a lot of footy when we were younger.
Yeah, Oz
And
kick.
just yeah, Auskick, yeah, and get involved with the community a lot.
Yeah, and the things we got on there was pretty good because you learnt like so many skills as like a little fella, which you could kind of apply it to like I don't know future. Yeah, I'd say. And the things we done there, like there was surfing as well at Anglesey like multiple years, and I reckon that helped me at Nurad because we've done it before, you know. So kind of
Mm.
like yeah, I got up a few times, you got up, and some people like struggled surfing. I'd say I struggled a bit,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was good knowing what to do, sort of. I'd say.
You get it, especially with like start in places you end up after in life. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Mr. Dylan, but you're obviously pretty tall. Yeah, can you dunk the school basketball rings, mate? Is it true?
Oh, maybe like one in every like 100 hours. I'm not there yet, but I think I'll get there by the end of this year.
Yeah. Who would you?
Yeah, Dylan.
Yeah, I reckon Dylan.
Dylan's got, yeah.
I called him D Sanity because of like the way fuck his hops and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not the tallest guy, but he just got crazy bounce out of nowhere.
Yeah, fuck. He's always had that vertical shit. Like he probably jumps double. He can jump over me. That's how good his
Yeah,
vertical is. I'm like 5'9" or something, and he can jump over me. Fucking hell, pretty
yeah,
amazing.
he's crazy.
Yeah. Um, mate, I don't know if you have many, but what are your fears, Eamon? Like, what are you fearful of?
I used to have a crazy fear of heights. Like I would not like my
Really?
leg when I'm up high, but I always, if there's I remember in year 7 on the Flying Fox, I never wanted to go on it, but I kind of just pushed myself and hopped on and went crazy on it.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I didn't know that. But what about that walk bridge in year 7, the first ever activity? I remember the boys forced me onto that shit first, and I fell off like the first two steps because, oh my,
Yeah, yeah.
far out, that was shocking.
Yeah, I did not even want to look down. I was just looking up and I just went across it, just balls deep, just went in.
Yeah, and what about Nurad, the Mount Nurad? I think that's pretty. Tell us how steep that was, because going down and up, it's just like, mate, hard to
It was
describe.
like a vertical climb, and it wasn't too hard because it's not like you're towering over something like you're about to fall down.
Yeah,
But
true.
it was a decently hard climb, I guess. It was fun. I think it was me and Marcelo. We kind of just chatted on our way up and pushed through and made the best of it.
Yeah, I reckon it was good going in pairs. I went with Jacinto. We done it in like 15 minutes. I think you and Maz were done in like 10 or something, just about
Yeah,
there. But I felt sorry for, I won't name who, but someone in our expo group took like 30 minutes to get up there. What's it called?
yeah,
Mount Murat. Yeah, that was pretty hard to watch because we're all up and like the rocks like kind of like helped everyone in a way because it was uneven and yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We'll move on now. So, Eamon, mate, you're a positive person because I've met you and I know that you're a pretty positive person. You're always smiling, etc. Tell us what drives your positive persona, mate.
I mean, I try to, have a good outlook on life. I never try to be too negative. I try to, make the brighter situation out of everything. I guess just, my upbringing with my mom and everything, just making sure that, everything's positive and all that.
Yeah, that's great, mate. Keep that positive persona up, mate, because it's obviously a good thing
Yeah, yeah.
about you. What object do you have that like means a lot to you, holds sentimental value?
Sentimental value. Let's see. Um, I have, if you remember this, you remember the notes that we got in your ad?
Yeah, I
Did
have
you get?
that in a box somewhere. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is pretty recent, but it's just kind of a memoir of Murad and all that. It keeps me going. If I ever need, some motivation, or if I'm feeling down, I can always read those, and they, boost me up. Another thing with sentimental value is I have this little like glass bowl with some, not indigenous, what's the word? Some local beetles that are local to Comoros, and it's pretty cool. But culture and all that, just stay connected for sure.
Yeah, just wondering about the mail thing from Nurad. I wonder if you can find my message because I can't remember what I said, but my handwriting is pretty small and a bit dodgy, so you'd probably find my message if you had
I'll
a
take
quick
it.
look. Yeah.
It might have been this one. I'm not too sure. Does that look like your handwriting?
You off? Maybe not, but I don't think it's me. Or try one more, mate. Try one more.
Might have been this one. That's the closest, I think.
Never fail to. Maybe as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's heaps of them though. There's heaps of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. True. All right. We'll probably move on now because I don't even remember what I said. It could have been one of those two. So yeah, we'll just take it as that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, mate. What's your favorite like song right now, and like what do you listen to?
Ooh, what I'm listening to right now. I'm a big music fan. I think recently I've been listening to a lot of Ian Dior and Jacquees.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're pretty good artists, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
mate. Ian Dior. I'm a fan of him as well. I like the one. What's it called? Emotions, and there's a few other ones
Mm.
that are pretty good. And he made one with Machine Gun Kelly. I think it's called "I'm Sick and Tired" or some shit. But I reckon that beat drop or something is pretty good.
Yeah, I think my favorite song right now is probably Prospect. He did that one with Lil Baby.
Yeah. And what about all time, mate? Do you have any particular songs of all time? Yeah.
All time. Hmm. Nah, I don't think so because my music taste is so big and like I listen to so much
Yeah,
and it goes over my head, but it's always like the song of the week or the song of the month or something like that. Yeah.
yeah. You're kind of like Abdi. Yeah, I had him on last time, and he said but it always changes like every week, just like you said. So yeah, it's hard to like
Yeah.
have an all time favorite. I reckon.
Hmm.
Mate, who motivates you the most and why?
Motivates me the most. I reckon my mum because she's such a strong independent person and it's good to look up
Yeah,
to her. My older sister as well because she's in year 12 this year and she's like constantly studying and it's good to see what I should be doing with myself with especially with school and all that definitely.
yeah. I reckon next year's a big year for both of us. It's like yeah, a big year, year 11 especially. What about famous people, Eamon? You probably look up to a fair few famous people. Anyone?
Not really. I mean, I used to look up to, a lot of basketball players and just like the road to, the league and all that. Like, Jimmy Butler's one, that's a pretty inspiring story.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, probably Jimmy Butler's story is pretty good. He was homeless and he kind
Oh,
of
was he?
had, yeah, he was homeless for a while and he had the right people to talk to and all that. And he made it to the league. And yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah, there's pretty inspiring stories in the NBA. For me, probably Allen Iverson. He's one of my favorite players. You know who he is, but apparently he was in jail for like a year before he got drafted, and like no one like scouted him the year after that. And then his mum begged like the coaches to select him in like college and stuff. And yeah, basically his world got turned around, and he kind of worked hard to like. And he was number one pick of the '96 draft, which is pretty extraordinary considering what happened prior. And Hall of Famer, Allen Iverson, the GOAT.
big come up, big come up.
Yeah, and he's like your height, Eamon. You're probably taller than Allen Iverson, and he did such amazing things in the NBA. I'd say.
Even that his crossover changed the rule book
Did it?
because yeah, a lot of players like Kevin Durant, he changed the rule book as well because of like the way he shot the ball and like got a foul. They changed the rule book, and yeah, that's pretty inspiring. Change the game by the way you play. Yeah,
Yeah. So how did he change the rule book with the crossover?
it was something to do with the whole carrying thing
Oh
and
yeah, I got
how
you. Yeah.
yeah for sure.
Yeah. Mate, Eamon, I'm probably shit at doing crossovers, but whenever I try to do them, like our mates are like mates at school just say, "Oh, stop fucking carrying the ball, Jerry," which pisses me off because I'm trying my best and then like stop carrying the ball. Obviously not
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
carry the ball.
somewhere, you're not going to be what the LeBron James of high school
Yeah,
your first month, first year of playing. You've got to start from somewhere. But yeah,
I've asked you a fair few questions, Eamon. You can ask me one question far away.
one question. Let's see. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
That's a good question, mate. Mate, I see myself still running a podcast. Maybe like change the name and but hopefully it can gain a bit of popularity and like I can do this I don't know, for fun or maybe as a career, and like just in 10 years, probably uni's done, yeah, obviously. And being in the sports media industry, to be honest, that's where I see myself. And
For
just
sure,
quickly,
for
what
sure.
about you, mate, in 10 years' time?
10 years, maybe, finishing school, finishing uni, um, maybe starting my own business, um, earning the big bucks, hopefully.
Yeah,
That's the dream, everyone's dream.
yeah, that's all we all want, basically. So please request who you want me to speak to next via DMs at Jez and Friends on Instagram. And Eamon, mate, who do you want next on the podcast?
Ooh, someone with a good story. Maybe like, I mean, Kobe would be someone that's pretty good because he's
True.
got a top story.
Yeah, so you'd say Kobe?
Yeah, I reckon so. I reckon so.
Yeah, I reckon I could get him on. I know him. I don't know. You could probably message him and say, "Oh, you want to hop on Jez's podcast?" And yeah, we'll see where that goes. Um, Thanks for tuning into the Jez and Friends podcast. Remember, push yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. And thank you so much for your time, Eamon. Appreciate it, mate.
Appreciate it.